After it felt like for the longest time Mega Man fans were just completely disrespected by Capcom, the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3, the absence of Mega Man in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the lack of new and compelling Mega Man titles, it seems like Capcom is absolutely back on the roll with Mega Man, and they've been on point for the last few years. I point to you guys the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, the Mega Man X Collection, Mega Man 11. We know that there's other Mega Man titles in the works. However, those titles are gonna come in the future. What's coming tomorrow that I'm personally very excited for? That's the Mega Man 0 and ZX Legacy Collection. Much like the Mega Man X Collection and the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, we're getting Mega Man Zeros 1 through 4, which I feel like are games that are relatively notable. However, while I'm very much excited for the inclusion of Mega Man 0, 1 through 4, those games were great on the Game Boy Advance. How about this? Mega Man ZX and ZX Advent will be included in this collection as well, and I really do feel like more so than the X Collection and the Anniversary Collection, maybe because those games were a little bit more iconic, those games were on premier platforms, and not to say that the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS weren't premier platforms. I mean, goddamn, look at the sales numbers for both of those platforms. However, just generally speaking, Zero and ZX Advent, those games aren't heralded as some of those iconic Mega Man experiences that an X series or the original Mega Man series are, and I wouldn't say that's necessarily fair for 0, 1 through 4, as well as ZX and ZX Advent, because they are fantastic games, and I want to get you guys up to speed with these titles before you spend, yes, your $30, and I can talk a lot about that $30 price point because I think Capcom absolutely nailed it with the price point. I think they could have easily gone the $40 route. It's 6 separate games, do bear that in mind. However, the fact of the matter is, circling back to my previous point, the 0, ZX, and ZX Advent games, they're not heralded on the level as the X games or the original titles, not necessarily from a critical reception, but from a marquee standpoint. So I think, how does Capcom entice players to pick this collection up? Well, a $30 price point is definitely going to entice a lot of people that maybe haven't played these games in the past, but see, hey, that's Mega Man, hey, I know Zero, that's going to entice them to pick it up, even though they're Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS titles at the end of the day. And I want to talk a little bit about 0, 1 through 4, and then we'll talk about ZX and ZX Advent, and I'm really excited to talk about ZX and ZX Advent more so, because I feel like those are games that have gone a little bit under the radar, but are tremendous titles. So first of all, let's talk Mega Man 0. So this is a franchise that came out on the Game Boy Advance, originally originating back in 2002 with the release of the original Mega Man 0, came out in September of 2002 in North America, and then Japan got it a little bit earlier in April, and then obviously they started rolling these games out. We got Mega Man 0, 02, 03, 04. Generally speaking, they share a lot of the similar features. And to read an excerpt on what critics generally thought, when the first game in the series came out, reviewers were quick to hail a return to what they considered the Mega Man roots. However, some fans criticized that the lack of knowing which boss the player will face next was a change for the worse, and that it takes away what made the series unique in the past. Mega Man 0 games have earned generally positive reviews. Review sources both criticize and praise the high difficulty level of the game and remark that they were similar in nature to earlier installments in the Mega Man series. If you compare the Mega Man X difficulty level to Mega Man from the olden days, obviously the original Mega Man games were a little bit more difficult, and if you're going into 0, 1 through 4 and you want to play through all 4 of those games, just bear in mind you're getting into some difficult games. They are challenging games, rewarding in the same time, but they are very difficult. Do not get it twisted. This is not for the faint of heart, and somebody that's just looking for an easy action platformer to get into, do not get into that. Expect something difficult, expect something a little bit challenging, but in the same token, it gets that rewarding element right as well. I remember playing these games back in the day when I was just a kid on the Game Boy Advance, and these were some of the most rewarding games, 0, 1 through 4 that is, that I had ever played, because I got whooped in these games, but then I came back, and then it was so rewarding to beat some of those levels. Some of the positive reviews noted that the variety of abilities and customization, along with an engaging story that compared to its prequel series, while negative reviews focused on the series' repetitiveness and lack of originality. At the end of the day, Mega Man is Mega Man. While this does center around 0, while it is a challenging game, it's not like Mega Man 0 is reinventing the wheel, but that's not necessarily a problem. Some of these franchises that are sometimes harped on for not reinventing the wheel, at the end of the day, you're buying a Mega Man game to what? Play a Mega Man game. And Mega Man 0, even though it's got that 0 tagline, you are at the end of the day playing a Mega Man game, so keep that in mind, and I'm sure all of you guys have that in mind. To harp on the game for not reinventing the wheel, I just think that's a little silly. But nonetheless, that is just my 2 cents. Review scores were lower for the last 2 titles in the series, with critics pointing out that the games were just using the same gameplay without introducing anything new. And I can kind of understand, given the fact that Capcom was low-key spamming these games. They were coming out yearly. 02 came out in 2003, 03 came out in 2004, and I would imagine that 04 came out in 2005. Yes, it came out in 2005. So you're talking about cycling these games at a yearly release pattern, so I could understand how they would get a little bit redundant. However, at the end of it, Mega Man is Mega Man, and to get more of that is always appreciated. So that's 1 through 4. I think they're great games. However, let's talk ZX and ZX Advent, because I'm excited that Capcom decided to bring these games to this collection as well. When I heard about the possibility about a Zero collection, I was like, okay, that's kind of exciting. I mean, we actually got a Zero collection on the Nintendo DS. If you guys don't know, 1 through 4 were ported onto the Nintendo DS in the form of a Zero collection, but I really wanted to see ZX and ZX Advent being represented in this collection. However, I knew that there would be a little bit of a problem given the fact that ZX and ZX Advent were released exclusively on the Nintendo DS, and with that dual screen design, that was going to be a little bit challenging to bring that over to the PlayStation 4 or whatever platform you decide to pick it up on. Thankfully, Capcom has implemented a way where they naturally brought the games over to this collection, and you will be able to play them like they were natively done for the PlayStation 4. I believe they're implementing the second screen into a portion of the screen, so that should work just fine. And ZX and ZX Advent, guys, these games were fantastic. If you wanted an evolution of Mega Man from Mega Man 0, again, those reviewers talking about and harping on the fact that Mega Man 0 wasn't reinventing the wheel, ZX and ZX Advent, okay, these games, if you're not saying they're reinventing the wheel, I don't know what to tell you, because they really modernized the Mega Man formula, and that's why I'm a little bit disappointed that ZX and ZX Advent don't get the recognition that they deserve. 2 centuries after the events of Mega Man 0 in the year 25XX, humans and Reploids now coexist peacefully. After some time of peace and prosperity, humans, Reploids, and the humanoid cyborgs in the Mega Man ZX universe of Earth manage to revive some of the former nations, and a lot of things go on, and you are thrown into the world of Mega Man ZX. Now, what's so awesome about Mega Man ZX is it's not that typical, you know, pick a level, go through it, fight a boss at the end. It's got that element. However, you also have a Metroidvania style experience thrown in there. Now, I will say this, 0 was very challenging. I'll say that ZX in my experiences was a little bit easier. However, ZX in the same token doesn't hold your hand much. A lot of other games these days, Metroidvania style titles, you'll know where to go naturally. ZX kind of leaves you to your own devices, and I remember when I played these games as a kid, bear in mind that back in 2006 when this game came out, I was just a youngster. However, I would get lost pretty regularly playing this game. But at the same time, once you get going and the element of having all of these different secrets, obviously secrets in a Mega Man game go hand in hand. However, the secrets in ZX were really well done, and there was that air and level of exploration that we really hadn't seen in a Mega Man game in the past, at least a traditional Mega Man game, and it was awesome to see that being implemented in Mega Man ZX. And Mega Man ZX got pretty good review scores. You're talking about a 76 on Metacritic for the first title, and I believe ZX Advent did even better with a 78. IGN stating with ZX Advent, it's a fairly long and deep experience, though it's by no means a perfect game. However, the good certainly outweighs the bad, and we can't help but recommend the game as a result. GameSpot cited the main problem as the game's difficulty being a bit too high for the casual gamer. So yes, the 0 titles tend to have a little bit higher of a difficulty ceiling, but I didn't even think ZX was that difficult in my recollection of playing the game. I thought, you know, even being as young as I am, I was getting lost more so than having a difficult time of actually beating some of the bosses or anything like that, and I remember 0, 1 through 4 being more challenging games. But nonetheless, for those of you that always wanted to see an evolution and a transition of Mega Man into something more, I really felt like ZX and ZX Advent offered that, and I thought there was a very, very high ceiling for ZX to become something really special. Unfortunately, after ZX Advent, we didn't see Capcom revisit the ZX franchise, and there was a lot of opportunity to go back and really flesh it out even more. Imagine ZX on an even more modern platform. I really thought the ceiling was limitless. However, that's a topic that we can talk at another time. It's just a little bit depressing for me going back into 07, playing ZX Advent and never getting a follow-up title. And do keep this in mind, 0, 1 through 4 to ZX and ZX Advent, yearly releases for these games. These games came out year after year after year. 04, I believe we noted that it came out in 2005. ZX came out in 06. ZX Advent came out in 07. So there was that era of Capcom just spamming out these game releases, and do bear in mind that there were other Mega Man games being released as well. But now you're getting them all in one collection, and you're getting all of these games. But on top of that, you're getting some refinements on top of that. New features include Race Against the Clock in the new game mode, Z Chaser, who can complete a stage with the fastest time. You or your rival, put your skills to the test. Customize your settings and visit the gallery. Enjoy a stress-free experience while playing casually. So if the difficulty does get too overbearing, you can play it that way. However, let's be real, if you're playing a Mega Man game, while I really appreciate that option, I really think you have to embrace the challenge. But nonetheless, that's just my 2 cents. Choose your favorite screen filter and screen layout, and then immerse yourself into the art and background music of the Mega Man Zero series, and it has some great artwork as well. So a lot of improvements being thrown into this collection as well. But at the end of the day, fundamentally, what are you buying and what are you getting for your $30? You're getting 6 games, and I would argue that ZX and ZX Advent, while you guys might not be aware of it, those are very, very deep and engrossing experiences. While 0, 1 through 4, traditional Mega Man titles, ZX does offer something a little bit more. Very excited for this Zero collection. Really hope a lot of you guys pick it up. I want Mega Man to be here around for the long term, and we know Capcom's been doing all these collections. They did Mega Man 11, but as these games sell better and better, hey, that can open the door for a new Mega Man X title. That can open the door for a new Mega Man Zero title. Can that open the door for a new Battle Network title? That is something that I would find absolutely phenomenal. And you know, at some point they're going to do that collection as well. It's just a free revenue stream. It's not like there's a significant investment that goes into this. But nonetheless, Mega Man Zero collection will be out tomorrow. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Very excited to talk about this, and I want to know if you guys have any plans on checking it out, or am I really just the only gigantic Mega Man fan that is watching and, you know, creating content on this channel? But I want to know if you guys are in the same boat as me. So sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.